Welcome to Sherlock Hopes. Here, we explore the forces that shape our planet, the beauty, the power, and sometimes, the danger. Earth is not just our home. It is a dynamic world, alive with movement, fire, and light. And throughout history, nature has tested humanity in ways we are only beginning to understand. Tonight, we look at the catastrophes that nearly changed our story forever. These are the stories of the days when humanity nearly disappeared. 74,000 years ago. Long before cities, long before writing, long before history. The Earth erupted. In what is now Indonesia, a supervolcano known as Toba exploded with a force almost beyond comprehension. The blast was thousands of times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It tore open the crust of the planet. It sent ash more than 40 kilometers into the atmosphere. And then, the sky began to disappear. Ash circled the globe. Sunlight faded. Temperatures dropped. For years, the planet shivered beneath a veil of dust. Crops failed. Ecosystems collapsed. Entire regions became uninhabitable. But the most terrifying possibility is what may have happened to us. Some scientists believe that after Toba, the human population fell to as few as 3,000 to 10,000 individuals. 10,000 on an entire planet. That is not a civilization. That is the edge of extinction. Genetic evidence suggests a bottleneck, a moment when humanity was reduced to a fragile remnant of itself. We are not the product of uninterrupted progress. We are the descendants of survivors. If the eruption had lasted longer, if temperatures had dropped just a little further, if food sources had vanished completely, there would be no history books, no cities, no satellites orbiting Earth. There would be no us. Humanity did not conquer the planet. It endured it. In 1815, the world believed it was entering a new era. Empires were rising, industry was growing, humanity felt unstoppable. Then, on a remote island in Indonesia, a mountain exploded. Mount Tambora erupted with a force so violent it could be heard more than 2,000 kilometers away. Entire villages were buried beneath ash and pyroclastic flows. Tens of thousands died within days. But the real catastrophe was only beginning. Ash and sulfur gases rose high into the stratosphere, high enough to circle the planet, high enough to change the climate itself. The following year, 1816, became known as the year without a summer. Snow fell in June. Frost destroyed crops in July. Harvests failed across Europe and North America. Food prices soared. Riots broke out, starvation spread, more than 70,000 people died, not from lava, but from hunger. Tambora did not erase humanity, but it revealed something far more unsettling. Civilization depends on stability, on predictable seasons, on reliable harvests. Remove the sun for a single year, and society begins to fracture. What would happen today if global supply chains collapsed? If harvests failed across continents? If panic spread faster than information? Tambora was not just a disaster, it was a warning. The planet does not need to destroy us in a single moment. It only needs to disrupt the systems we rely on, and sometimes the threat does not come from below the Earth, but from above it. On the morning of September 1st, 1859, an amateur astronomer in England noticed something unusual. His name was Richard Carrington, and he was about to witness the most powerful solar storm ever recorded in human history. A massive flare erupted from the surface of the sun. Billions of tons of charged particles were launched toward Earth at unimaginable speed. 17 hours later, they arrived. Telegraph systems across Europe and North America began to malfunction. Wires sparked. Paper caught fire. Operators received electric shocks. Some systems continued operating even after being disconnected from their power supplies. The sky glowed red. Auroras were visible as far south as the Caribbean. In 1859, humanity barely noticed. Today, we are not a species of telegraphs. We are a species of satellites. A storm of the same magnitude would cripple power grids, disable satellites, shut down GPS, disrupt global communications. Financial systems would freeze, supply chains would halt, entire cities could go dark. And unlike 1859, we would feel it everywhere. Solar storms are not rare. They're inevitable. It is not a question of if, but when. We look at the sun and see warmth, life, stability, and this time, survival would not depend on fire or shelter, but on electricity. Not all catastrophes begin with fire. Not all disasters fall from the sky. Some arrive quietly, invisible, carried on breath. In 1918, as the world emerged from war, another force was already spreading. The influenza pandemic infected 1/3 of humanity. An estimated 50 million people died. Entire cities fell silent. Hospitals overflowed. Communities were overwhelmed not by explosions, but by absence. Humanity had mastered industry, steam, steel, telegraphs. But it had not mastered biology. The virus did not destroy civilization, but it exposed its fragility. Even today, pandemics remain one of the few forces capable of reaching every corner of the planet within weeks. Nature does not always roar, sometimes it whispers. We like to believe that disasters belong to the past, that science has made us safe, that technology has made us untouchable, but the forces that shaped our history have not disappeared. Supervolcanoes still breathe beneath the surface. Yellowstone, Toba, others we barely understand. They do not follow our schedules. They do not respond to warning systems. Asteroids still cross Earth's orbit. Some we detect, some we don't. 66 million years ago, one impact ended the age of dinosaurs. The universe has not promised to spare us the same fate. The sun will flare again. The earth will tremble again. The climate will shift again. These are not apocalyptic fantasies. They are geological certainties. Humanity has survived not because the planet is gentle, but because it has been merciful. We are here because the catastrophes were survivable, because they stopped just short of total annihilation, but one day one of them may not, fade slowly to black. We do not live in a safe world. We live in a pause between catastrophes. The only question is how long the pause will last. If you're fascinated by the science of our world, by the stories written in rock, sky, and starlight, subscribe to Sherlock Hopes, because the more we understand our planet, the better prepared we are to live on it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next exploration.